human emotions are natural. We all have them. There's a time to love, a time to hate, a time of war, a time of peace. I believe it says a time of laughter and a time of sorrow. We have all these emotions for a reason. They're not just here just to never be used for good. Yes, you can use hate, you can use anger, you can use fear for good. These negative emotions, you can harness them for something productive. And because Satan has used these emotions in us to get us to target the wrong things and to prioritize the wrong things in the world. For instance, men, instead of using our hardworking, fighting spirit, killer instinct, instead of using that stuff for good, protecting our family, getting money, just being a hardworking man that's going to be able to carry and to provide for his family, his friends, and help people out, and fight the good fight. Rather than us men doing that, we're out here shooting each other. Because in this world, it's all cool. Everybody wants to talk about how cool it is to shoot somebody and kill somebody. And the guys like YNW Melly, I would love to see YNW Melly get to a street fight with just a typical dude. That maybe he would win, but I guarantee you, if he had to do that with all the people he's had beef with or whatever, he wouldn't have acted on it. He would have just let it go. But because we have weapons today, nobody wants to have respect for anybody else. Because you don't have to respect anybody else. If you have a weapon, you just pull one little trigger and they're gone. And society, they got us using our emotions in the wrong way as men. We're angry today. And I understand that the way the world's set up, it's demonizing men today. If you're a man, you're automatically wrong. You're being put down. You're being harshly judged. And it's also this believe all women thing that happened a few years ago, I believe. It's just like putting down men to the point where if you're a good man, you're suffering the brunt of this foolishness that's being perpetrated in society today. If you're a good man, you're being hit the hardest. And it's sad. It shouldn't be like that. But that's what Satan's trying to do. He's making it difficult to be a good person. He's making it to where you kind of have to do the wrong thing in order to, I guess you could say, get whatever you want. And people are envious today. The Bible talks about that. Lovers of their own selves, covetousness. They brag and they're very blasphemous. They have no respect for anybody. And as men, we need to use that fighting spirit, that drive for things that are positive. That's how the world was built. It's built by hardworking men that decided to use their ambition, their strength, their drive, and their motivation, their just ferocity. They decided to use it for something positive. That's why we have all these buildings. I mean, look around. Everything you see here was built by a man. I mean, the phone that I'm holding, the lights that are shining on me right now. I mean, look at all these flags of the state of West Virginia and United States and the YMCA. All this stuff was created by men. So as men, we're not just wrong. Like this toxic masculinity, they always want to demonize a man being a man. Okay, well, if a man can't be a man, then don't use anything that a man has created. Because that's a masculine trait. Building and just creating things. That is a masculine trait. Whenever I was a kid, I loved things like Legos, and I always wanted to go to the beach to build a sandcastle, and I liked to create things. And my parents said I was pretty creative, and I do science experiments and stuff. I loved knowledge. I loved using the things around me to create things. It's just natural that a boy likes that kind of stuff. And I started getting into wrestling, just that fighting spirit. And now I'm doing Muay Thai right now. But that fighting spirit, that killer instinct, we got to harness that for something good. But we're not. We're using it for bad. We're just out here killing each other and acting like morons. We need to harness it for good. And same thing. with women. They're not. It doesn't mean that they're okay in whatever's going on in society. In fact, I'd say that they're kind of the start of all this madness happening in society, with this gender fluidity, saying that men and women are completely equal. There's no difference between us. We're all the same. Why is there two different standards for military and all this other stuff? Like, there's clearly a difference between a man and a woman. Women naturally have a more nurturing. There's a reason why there's a word called masculine and feminine, because we act differently. It's not just humanin. No, it's masculine, the traits of a man, and feminine, the traits of a woman. Women act different. They're different than men. They naturally have a more compassionate and caring and an empathetic spirit to where they want to help people out and stuff. I see videos of cute little animals doing things, and it's always women in the comments talking about how cute it is, and they want that little, because they're nurturing. They love to care for things. But again, that trait of nurture is being used wrong today. Instead of women caring for their man, caring for the men in the military, fighting for this country to give me the ability to have the freedom of speech right now. Instead of caring for the right people in society, good, hardworking men, or caring for their own children, because they kill their own child, but they want to care about, maybe some criminal that's in prison that, they want to say is falsely accused, even though they probably don't have a single idea, just because he's a good-looking man. Or they want to care for some weird transvestite faggot on the media somewhere. They want to care about Bruce, not Caton. They want to care about Bruce Jenner, because that's a man. They want to care about all these things that set us back, that are degenerate qualities in our society today. They want to care about those things rather than reality, what they should care about. This Satan has got us using our natural emotions in ways that are unproductive in this world. Because in animals too. And I'm not saying I believe we should have respect and care for animals and stuff, but there's a lot of people, maybe it is more women. I would say more women, but they love to care about animals more than they want to care about their own children. I mean, they would kill a 6-month-old baby that's in their stomach in a heartbeat. But when it comes to running over a squirrel in an accident, they'd swerve and they'd run off the road and total their car just to make sure that little baby squirrel is fine. But if it was their own baby on the road, they'd just run it right over. Because that's what they're doing in abortion clinics. Their natural feminine traits are being used wrong. We need to realize that we should be in different places in this world. Also, just thinking about an assembly line. There's certain people that are good at certain things, right? You don't want one person doing everything. You want, the best people in their best position to have the best quality of the best product possible. For instance, you're building a car. There's one person that can set up the engine faster, more efficient, and just more intuitive than anybody else. So you put that person doing that. And then another person is better at, setting up the windows, or there's another person better at making or putting on the tires. You got people in different positions that are good at their certain things, so that it's more efficient, because then you're used to one another. You got to work as a team. But then again, with this love yourself mentality today, nobody wants to work in a team. It's all about you. It's all about lifting yourself up. Everybody else, you want to treat everybody else like they're some type of NPC and you're the main character. Nobody else matters. That's going to destroy society. We need the truth. And yes, this world is getting worse. Yes, it's just clearly going off the deep end, getting wicked, getting very violent. And the Bible says, basically, if you look at what these stories and what happens whenever a society becomes very promiscuous and you don't want to keep things in marriage, and whenever that gets out, I guess the female liberation of sexuality, where they want to sleep with whatever dude they want, or same thing with dudes want to sleep with any woman they come across. Whenever that happens, the world becomes filled with violence. And we're going to see, because we always want to do it our own way. We don't want to listen to God. We want to choose to do things our own way. So God, because like think about a father, okay? A typical dad, let's say that their child is about to walk up and touch a burning stove. The child is very adamant, very, very, very focused on touching this hot stove because it looks cool, because it's red, it's glowing red. And they just want to touch it because kids are curious. The dad's going to tell them not to touch it, and the kid might try it again, and then dad's going to, hey, no, don't touch that. And then maybe around the third or fourth try of the kid trying to touch the stove, dad's just going to let him do it. Because, you don't want to listen to your dad. You don't want to learn the right way. You want to learn the hard way. Go ahead. You can go ahead and learn that way. Learn by going through difficult circumstances, because then you're more likely, you probably learn better. Because you'd actually be able to look at a scar or whatever on your finger, or just remember the pain that happened whenever you decide to do things your own way. So God, that's the way I believe that he's letting this world kind of, because it says in the Bible that let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind. If you want to be an idiot, if you want to, believe in something that's stupid, go ahead, believe whatever you want. He's not trying to force you. We all have free will for a reason. Let's say, for instance, you want to be a vegan. The Bible talks about this, or vegetarian. I don't know the difference between vegan and vegetarian. I think it's the same, but whatever. Let's say you want to be that rather than a normal person eating meat and plants. Say you want to be a vegetarian. I'm not gonna put you down for that. You can do whatever you want. But the Bible does say that somebody who only eats herbs is weak. I'm just putting that out there. But you can do whatever you want. We have a whole lot of freedom. Because it seems like the further we get from the Bible when it comes to the laws we set up in this country, the further we get away from the Bible, it's like the more rules we have to make to compensate these stupid rules that come out. Because if you compare the Bible's rules, and I know new technologies came out and stuff, but the Bible gives us a lot more freedom than this world is giving us when it comes to right and wrong and what we should do and what we shouldn't. There's a lot more freedom if we would just follow the Bible. But when we get further away from the Bible, we have to make all these rules to compensate the dumb rules we came up with. Because if it's not lining up with the Bible, then it's a lie and it's not true. Once you, for instance, let's say you make up a story, you tell a lie, and somebody asks you another thing about that story, you have to lie again. You have to keep lying and dig yourself in that deep pit where you have to create some crazy elaborate story just based off of one lie. I think there's a saying about it, but once you lie one time, you have to lie about that again and again and again, because people are going to keep asking you stuff or whatever. You're going to have to create something that's just completely fraud. And that's what we're doing in the law system of America today. We'd rather, not just in America, in the whole world, instead of following the Bible, we'd rather follow whatever comes to our mind. And because of that, we have to make up extra rules and extra rules and extra rules and extra rules. All these stupid laws everywhere because we're not following the truth. Because the truth is very clear. It's very just set in stone, accurate, direct. It's not confusing. The truth is common sense. The law of the Lord is written in our hearts. Naturally, a kid knows if it's wrong to steal. A kid knows if it's wrong to lie or to kill somebody or to cheat on somebody. They know these things are wrong, but we're full of sin and we're going to do them regardless. We know the truth in our heart naturally, unless because I believe you can also lie to yourself and keep lying to yourself to the point where eventually you lie to yourself enough, you might convince yourself to believe something that's not true at all. Yes, that can happen, but if we would actually be honest and look deep down in our heart, we know right from wrong. There's no excuse about it. We're without excuse. So whenever a typical person reads the Bible, they're going to know that it's the truth whenever they come across certain things, like the fact that a man should be the leader of the home, the head of the home. You say, oh no, I think the woman should be the head of the home. Okay, go ahead. Let's have it your way. Go ahead, do whatever you want. You can go ahead and have your little house husband, and be the boss babe or whatever. Be this courageous, strong woman. Go ahead, have it your own way. Try your own family that way. See how it works out. It's not going to work out that good compared to just your typical everyday citizen following the Bible, having the man as the head of the home. We'd rather do it our own way, and when we do it our own way, it's not going to work because it's not the truth. It's wrong. That was kind of a ramble, but just getting some things off my chest. We need to be put in our correct positions in this world. Like, isn't that common sense? If you're good at certain things, you should be doing those certain things. If you're bad at other things, you shouldn't be doing those. And guess what? Women are not built to lead. They're not built to guide. They're built to follow. That's what they naturally do. They have a hive mind mentality, especially when it comes to mating strategies. Women, they always want the dudes that every other guy, that every other girl wants. Rather than them wanting what they want what everybody else wants. Just natural to them. Because men and women are different. We don't think the same. We're different. We have different strengths and different weaknesses. And in no way whatsoever, if you take anything from this video, am I saying that men are better than women? I'm not saying that whatsoever. There's neither male nor female in Christ Jesus. We have the exact same value. But just being honest, we have different positions. We shouldn't be doing the same things. We should be assigned different jobs in this world because we're better and we're worse at certain things than the other gender. Isn't that common sense? But thank you for listening to this. And if you got this far, God bless.